Hey, Dave LaCalia with HeadGames Motorworks. Today we are going to do a walk around. You get to see all the crazy projects we have going on. Keep watching. Coyote Gen 2 is coming. So we got this head here. This head is simply for research and development. I'm going to port it. I'm going to flow it. I'm gonna valve job, we're gonna flow it, we're gonna do all that stuff, and guess what? You guys get to see all that pretty soon. Gen 2, we just did a Gen 2 versus Gen 2 versus Boss. Now, if you guys have always heard that the Gen 2 is just a reflection of the Boss 302 head, be sure to watch that one because I'm not gonna give it away. Watch the video. This is a pretty cool set of Voodoo heads that we're going to do for Justin's Performance Center. They got TKM to do the cam caps. They're billet cam caps. They're really, really nice. Now what you'll notice, now this is a Voodoo head. Voodoo heads come CNC'd from the factory, but this is the raw version. This is something I don't think everybody gets to see, but this is the raw version, and we're going to make our port out of this. I think we're going to actually make a HeadGames port out of this, since the canvas is wide open here and you can just pretty much do anything you want. Everything is small, so that way it'll absolutely all clean up, but the canvas is big here. We can do anything we want. Very excited about that one. We got a Raptor here for Jeff Racer. If you guys have seen the video of Jeff coming over here, and Jeff and I ported his exhaust housing, and that's for his Raptor cylinder head. So this is another video you guys are going to get to see. I pocket ported this yesterday, and come here, Toby. Don't be shy. I pocket ported this thing, flow tested it. I'm not going to show all the flow testing I did, but because we actually did some R&D on this. We're changing a few things. So I did the pocket port. Now it's ready for guides and valve job, and we're going to show that whole thing on another video. Hemi things. So we have never worked really on Hemis before, and my buddy Mike P, Mike's from Mish Tuned. He tunes at HHP, and he has been bugging the crap out of me for like 2 years to get into them. He even bought me a cylinder head. Come on, Dave, let's do it. And I've been reluctant, I've been resisting, but I heard there was a problem with Valvetrain, and I'm gonna try to solve it. You guys are actually gonna get to see the complete issue on another video. This is an aftermarket cylinder head, and I think the geometry is not correct. So guys are putting lash caps on these things to make the valve longer, because the valve is basically sunk, or the margin of the valve, I should say. So this is the margin. The margin of the valve here is thicker than OEM. So if you look at an OEM, this is OEM. Now these are OEM length valves, even though they went from a triple groove to a single groove. But the problem is that they didn't make up for the thickness here, which pulls the valve this way. They didn't make up for it on this end of the head. So there's a whole video explaining that, and it's going to show. We're gonna do some testing, because maybe I'm wrong. I'm okay with being wrong, but you know, I see a problem, I'm going to try to solve it, and you know, the point sometimes is to fail it again, so you can learn something and see what's going on. I don't know enough about these to make super educated decisions, but we can try stuff. So we're going to do that actually with Ripa. Ripa Tune's going to try our Valvetrain in his car, his personal car, and we're going to see some cool shit out of that. So you guys better keep watching for that.
Dave also can't speak wisely on putting on the same shoes in the morning.
Yeah, I messed that up. I'm wearing one shoe of another. I think some guys can relate to this. Now I'm going to go through the whole day thinking about how I have one shoe versus the other. And that's and we're doing a walk around. Of all things, we're going to do a walk around. I feel the need to go over this piece here. So this is a case half for an EJ, and it's really here just to get cleaned, because we have a Wet Technologies soda blaster. Actually, you can put any media in it. Greg's putting some new gloves in it right now, but that machine will make everything look like new, and you don't have to worry about media blast in your block or anywhere, because you can just clean it out. It's just soda. So We offer that service. It's nothing that we've ever advertised and probably won't advertise, but it is available if you guys want to ship stuff just to get cleaned. But you guys will be doing the final clean, just so we're on the same page, but it still can get clean. All right, so we have Lamborghini R&D going on now. We did the Gallardo, or I'm sorry, we've done the Huracan. Well, we did the Gallardo a long time ago, but rich guys don't buy Gallardos anymore, I think. They just modify Huracans, Performantes, R8s, STOs. And so I got this cylinder head from a manufacturer, and we were just doing some R&D. We're testing GSC Power Division's new valves and spring kits. And for ourselves, we're also testing, because we have an R8 in here, and we want to do some valve job testing, and we have a CNC. I don't know if you guys know that, but we have a CNC. So we're going to digitize this thing. We're going to have ports. We're going to have all that. And that's another video. This is like almost an advertisement for videos.
Are you not going to mention how mangled that head is?
I was not, but yeah, so it got a little hurt. Broken valves and guides and broken everything. This head's not repairable, at least at HeadGames. We would never repair something like this, but it has definitely seen better days. And this is why this became an R&D head, because it doesn't really matter. Although it does look like somebody worked on it before. If you can see the 45-degree angle, I'm going to say that they put an oversized valve in it because the 45 is just so wide and it's towards the edge of the valve seat. The issue that I found in the Lambo stuff a very long time ago is that nobody sells Valvetrain for the Huracan and the R8. Everything that you can buy for this platform up till now has all been Gallardo stuff, and the Gallardo has an oversized exhaust valve, comparatively speaking. You can, I mean, most of the stuff kind of plugs and play, and we've been doing it for years, but now GSC Power Division has made valves and springs and everything specifically for this platform. And so we had an R8 head come in here, so I wanted to do some R&D and make sure that we can offer something, just a killer package. And it's going to be our only package because now we actually have stuff that fits it. 2JZ race head over here, looking beautiful. So you have all the wire jackets are removed. Obviously we have to do the head bolt still, and it's CNC ported. Needs to get the valve job. This is going to Ryan Samet. It's for one of his customers. They're building a Fox body with a 2J. This thing's gonna be badass. So now we have clearance for cams in the CNC, and this thing is almost ready to go. The only thing, it was over here by the CNC because it's got to get cut for the 1/2-inch studs on this end. Matt just told me that I should pay attention to the CNC and how it takes time to process things before it regurgitates information. And they're saying that I should do the same. I actually agree. I probably should. But so what we're doing here is we are digitizing a customer's cylinder head. He's a head porter, and he wanted his port digitized so we can just cut it and he can finish it up on his end. This is something that we did ourselves for 10 years almost. We were always sending out our ports, and we're sending them to people who had plates and had machines, and they would cut them for us, and that way we could finish them up here. And I suggest if you're a head porter and you're watching this, this is the game changer. This makes it so you can put out more and you can grow, and that's how HeadGames grew, and I think that you can too. So I know that a big worry of guys like us that are head porters, you send stuff out, and this is something that I had to get over, was that people are going to steal your ports. And this is one thing I'll say, is that you should do it with somebody you trust. You don't have to worry so much about them stealing the port, because there is so much more to just porting, like the valve job, everything else. If you've done a lot of R&D, then you have a package, and they can't steal that away from you. Boss 302 CNC port. So this is the OEM port right here, and this right here is the modified port. So you you're probably wondering, like, why would you CNC an already CNC ported head? Well, because we can make it more efficient, we can make it better. So here is our finished port, and the finished port's looking delicious. You see the fins and all that. I started taking footage of this. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish it. Maybe if you guys comment, you want to see some Coyote content, you need to say something. Definitely comment. I'm going to show you the rest of it. Hold on one second here. So here's the exhaust side. So this is OEM. The OEM port looking crappy. And then this is Dave Lacalio's hand port. And then here is the CNC'd version. I think you can definitely tell between this and this one, which one's going to work better. Keep an eye on the YouTubes. Maybe you'll see it. It's wild to me that for years we've done Coyotes, but not to this level, I'm going to say. And now they're everywhere. Now you see them like a plethora of them, and way less BMWs. I don't know why we have way less BMWs, but come follow. A couple weeks ago, we digitized the BMW S58. I redid the port. I wasn't really happy with the way we first did it, and that's circling back to we shipped the head out, got the head digitized, and that cost some money. So I didn't really want to put the money into changing the port until we got our own machine, and now I did. And we learned some things about S58s. We're gonna put the video up on this one, I think. But this is the final product. She is delicious. It's for my buddy Jimmy. Jimmy got a pocket port quite a few years ago, or maybe like a year ago. So we redid the port. You got bronze guides, valve job. This thing is ready to rock and roll. I can't say I'm completely satisfied with the port. We learned that it has a lot of core shift, much more. This is like 4G63 level of core shift, and because this here, was my hand port that we went over with the CNC, and now you see, I'm sorry, here's my hand port that we went over with the CNC. Looks beautiful, right? And you barely had to clean it up. And then if you go into the middle of the head, now you have the core shift issues. And I thought it was just the port. The exhaust port's actually even worse. Lots of hand grinding on the exhaust port. Just the roof, for whatever reason, the roof is almost untouchable. And we did a couple revisions of this, and the thing is, I don't want to just blow out the port or just make it real big so it cleans up. I want it to be right, and we're just having some difficulties with that and the core shift. I don't want to make it too big, put holes in it, or because there's that much core shift in it. That's kind of stuff that happens, but work in progress. We got Jeff from Full Race is RB26. So this was this goes into the cover car. It was on Super Street or Import Tuner. It's been so long. Anyway, he bought this car for me back in like, I don't know, 2003 or 4, and he made it a cover car and had RB26, the whole drivetrain from RB26 in it. Finally redoing the head, we got some DLC coded RB26 buckets from Kelford, and we did the Toyota buckets on the intake side just because of sizing. These are a little bit harder to get. You guys hear me talk bad about the DLC coded buckets, and I don't not like them. I think they're cool, they're neat. This is a really nice bucket, but we just prefer not to use it. I know because this stuff can shatter. I've seen these fail, not the Kelford one, but I've seen the DLC coded ones fail. But these are just, they're really pretty. I mean, if you're comparatively speaking to this bucket, I think that, one's just prettier than the other. And the idea behind the DLC is just making it slipperier, and it's supposed to make it so, if you have an oil starvation issue, it would solve that. But I think if you have a problem, there's going to be a problem anyway. So to clarify what I'm talking about with when the bucket fails, it's usually because somebody takes an OEM bucket and then coats it. And that's not what we have here. What we have here is Calford spent the money and they got a really nice bucket made, and it's made for this coating in mind. And what I mean by that is they didn't do any other processes or anything. It was designed and made to do the DLC coating bucket, and that is that's pretty cool. I really like that, and it's better and much more. But to me, that's like the right way to do it. So Jeff and I are having this argument because now, obviously, it's been a couple decades, but this does not look like my handiwork. And I don't know, Jeff sometimes comes over here and he works on stuff himself. And I don't know if this is one of them, but he keeps saying that I worked on this thing, and I'm like, no way, dude. I would never, like, this is ugly. Like, I don't know who worked on it. Maybe I poured it and he sanded it, but I just see things that I would never do. And I feel like I would just harass him on a YouTube video to say I'm right. I don't think I worked on this. I think you cheated on me. Rolando from Dynamic Performance just pulled up, and he's dropping some heads off. And I just wanted to share with everybody that, so whenever I see Rolando at the track, I'll go into the pit or I go into the trailer, and we just all start meowing at each other, like meow. And then whenever I call Rolando, he does a two-step with his mouth in a meow, like meow, 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 meow. You have to hear it over the phone. It's freaking amazing. We're gonna go down the line of heads that are shipping today because they're different. There's like some stories behind it all. So let's go down. Now, this first one is Tech heads for HHP for Kyle, is it? Don Lin. So anyway, we just did a refresh on this, and we wanted to see, I mentioned earlier, we're trying to figure out the geometry. This is also an aftermarket CNC head, and I wanted to see where do they put their stem protrusion height. And I was surprised by it all, and we're probably going to make some changes to this later on this year. We're going to get it to run, but it's already on a pretty fast car. I'll put a picture up of it. Some Texas speed heads came in for a refresh. This is for LS6, so it's got the smaller combustion chambers, and it's on a cathedral port cylinder head. It's got extra head bolts and all. This is for like a road race car, and he just needed, after years of abuse, he just wanted to freshen it up. So we got a couple cylinder heads here for Real Street. So I got this one. This is a race head. They're going to have this on the shelf. So one of them is going to be for the Dyno Mule, and then he's going to put two other ones on the shelf. I'm not sure which is what, but so this has GSC Power Division 6.5mm stem, +1 valves, CNC ported from HeadGames, stock size stud, because Real Street's working on a stud, and with P1 manufacturing, and that's this one. And then we have just a regular CNC ported dual spring kit. This is like a street head. This would be perfect for like a 1500 horsepower build, 12 to 1500. And then we have another race head, and it said one of these is going to be on the shelf, so in case you guys need a race head, you need it quickly, you got one right here. And it has all the same parts, the 5086 conical spring kit, the whole 9 yards. All right, so I feel like the need to tell this story, because if you guys are 2JZ people and you buy your own parts, these sat here for weeks because the manufacturer of valve locks for most of the manufacturers messed up. And the only one that kind of saved our day, well, SuperTech had some of the older ones. They were able to send them to us. And then the last batch from SuperTech, from BC, from Forea, I wasn't going to say the names, but they all bring the spring height 30 thousandths in the wrong direction. So it like pulls through the retainer, and the retainer or the spring height is absolutely off. So we found some old ones from SuperTech. We were able to put them in one, and then Manly, they make their own valve locks, and they were actually the best of the three. or 4 of them, and we were able to get these finally back together. Now, I was talking to Manly about going to see how they make valve locks, and I think you guys should comment below if you think it'd be worth my effort to go over there and do something with Trip Manly and Jesse over at Manly. Comment below, tell me if you would want to see that. That's the only thing they're going to let me see though. So I'm not going to do rods or pistons or anything like that, but we can see some of the Valvetrain stuff. Simple VVTi build. This is for Vang. I think this is going overseas. I could be wrong, but so we just did a simple pocket port. It's getting, it got GSC valves, stock size valves, and it got a 5064 spring kit. He's using a S1 cam, I believe. And this is just a very simple build, and it's for like, 700 horsepower, and it makes it so you can beat the living crap out of it and not have to worry about your cylinder head. BMW stuff. So if you guys seen our video with Tyler Pappas quite a few months ago, back in December, we were having issues with a Super Tech kit. He has since moved on and went to a Freya kit, and so we installed that here. It does install at 82 pounds and 196 open, but the distance to coil bind is like, so he put like the biggest cam in here. I'm sorry, I have to look at this. 240 thousandths away from coil bind is now we installed it, but I can't say I completely agree with 240 thousandths away from bind. That is like a slinky. So the farther away you get that spring, the center is going to move around and you lose stuff, but it's all motor, so I don't know if it matters. I don't do a lot of all motor stuff, but either way I don't agree with having something so far away from bind. So I figured I would take a look at what Rolando just dropped off, and I guess they had O-rings in this thing before, so they welded up the O-rings, they welded up the water jackets, but the most important part of this is HeadGames Motorworks titanium exhaust studs in the cylinder head, sport front wheel drive. It works. All right guys, I need to go back to work, and I've shown you everything here. Well, not everything, but I showed you a bunch, and I hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything you guys want to see, if you want to see a process, you want to see your cylinder head, maybe as it's coming through here, be sure to comment below, let me know what you want to see, and that does it. I appreciate all you guys. Toodles.